3, 2,
Hey,
1.
good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Douglas Planning Board meeting for November 19th, 2020. The meeting is being recorded and available for viewing on the Douglas Public Access Channel and on the website. And we'll come to order at 7:04. First item on the agenda, public hearing continued, Pine Sand and Stone Company, application for an earth removal special permit and a water resource protection overlay district special permit for 62 Manchog Street. And they have request for a continuance to 12/10/2020. Public hearing is now open.
I'll give you just a quick update after I get this screen share going.
Yeah.
All right, so what they're working on is changing the access. As you may recall, we had conversations about them coming through the cemetery, concern about, the proximity of trees, the number of trucks, the crossing,
Right.
that sort of thing. So I know they did explore access from Nadrozik's property. He's in a butter. That was brought up at the last meeting. They felt that that was probably a little lengthy in terms of access to the property, so
Okay.
this plan that they submitted is a concept only, and they're showing access coming off of West Street, as you can see. So it comes in adjacent to the house here.
Over the pool?
Pool, we're going to lose the pool, unfortunately. And then a cut through a hill going to the easement. I asked Eric to take a look at, the status of the pipeline in that area and see if that's going to be an issue. There's one crossing, and then I think that's it for the crossings. They got two, so one after the pool and one on that side.
Okay.
According to Eric, it's a smaller area of disturbance than the original proposal, and so that's currently where they're at. So they're still working on it, so they wanted to continue. And I think there's maybe a buffer.
This,
Yeah.
Was there another option that
This
was
is the
here the
third.
last time?
yeah.
Yeah, again, he talked about coming in from Nadrozik's property, which is,
Past the
as you look
cemetery.
at this plan, it's on the left side.
Yeah. And does that not have any crossings?
No, it's got a
Potentially.
crossing.
No, it has crossings,
Crossing.
and
It would
it's
still-
longer.
Longer over the shore.
Okay, all right.
There's one with no crossing.
Is this a temporary?
Is there, well, anyway,
Well,
someone's,
we have to rely on the engineer's information. We can certainly request that of Eric to give us some kind of overview on that access, or at least a little explanation. But as part of their filing with the Conservation Commission, they have to do what's called a alternatives analysis
Yeah.
as part of the riverfront impact. And this is what they found to be least impactful.
so this would not be entering through the St. Denis property over the cemetery, moving next to the cemetery, right, which was
Correct.
difficult in its own right, yeah.
Is this a temporary road or will it remain?
I imagine it's temporary, given
Temporary.
the location
Yeah.
of it. So if they ultimately end up wanting to expand the cemetery, I would imagine they'd refile to access from there, but then it'd be a much less impactful thing.
Because the grid's already been taken down.
When you said
Number of trucks going.
Correct.
when you said the pipeline, you mean the old ExxonMobil pipeline?
Yeah.
Isn't that's a dead line, though?
No.
It is, but it's my
Yes, it is.
understanding they still have the easement, they still have jurisdiction.
They have an easement, but it's a dead line.
Eric
Yeah.
to, make sure they square away with
But now who owns that? ExxonMobil doesn't own it.
BlackRock out of
Black.
Texas.
Buckeye.
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 Out of Texas and Connecticut.
And they can, I've been involved in a relinquish on a property that was developed with the Shell pipeline that was in Natick, and they will relinquish if you go through the proper channels, but it takes months
Yeah.
to do that.
I don't know what their plans are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
But you can find out, it can be a request,
All right. Anything further?
They requested a continuance.
Yeah.
And I think there's a butters here.
Yeah, Steve, anything? No? Anybody else in the audience?
Okay. We could go right around any wetlands
Can you ask his last name? For the record?
Steve Nedorosik, yeah.
Okay, so whoever's writing it up. can-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Motion for a continuance?
I'll make a motion to continue 62 Manchog Road to our December 10th meeting.
December 10th, we've got Coopertown at 7. I don't know how long, if they make progress. It could be
7:30?
7:30.
Second.
Motion made by Les, seconded by Tracy. All those in favor?
Tracy Sharkey, aye.
Les Stevens, aye.
Jake Schultzberg, aye.
Mike Swicker, aye.
Aaron Sokrat, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Ernie Mac's aye. All right, next item on the agenda, Lake Manchog Camping, 76 Oak Street. A&R.
Okay, give me a second, please.
Is Lake Manchog camping a campground?
Yeah.
Currently?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Didn't minimize that page. Go back to, yes. So it looks like they came up with a third option for the cemetery thing.
Yeah, I think that was the original property owner too, right? That house maybe?
No, it was gifted to the church by someone else out of Worcester.
So Mike Starrick submitted an A&R plan, and it's basically, you may recall, they previously filed an accessory apartment, and then they withdrew. We advised them that perhaps creating a separate lot might be the way to go. So this is, I think, in response to our comments. It's on Parker Road, which is a private road. It's a little narrow, but it's paved. I went through several iterations of the plan revisions with Jarvis Engineering, and this plan ultimately just meets all the requirements, so we have no issues from our perspective.
It's paved and patched.
But it's a,
Yeah, patch.
but it's not public, it's private.
It's a private road.
So
Good.
as long as somebody has their 200, have all their minimums on a private road, then that gets deeded as private, which means they provide their own services? Is this being currently, just asking the question, is it being
No.
currently maintained?
We don't even get into that. We look at frontage, so they have the required frontage, 200 feet, and we look at access. They did get into a little bit of a demonstration with us on access. I had them add a note to the plan regarding access, and today, surprisingly, I got a wetland report from Glenn Grabowski showing that there's no wetlands on the site that prohibit access,
Yeah.
which is good. The question really comes down to, the status, whether you're satisfied as a board on the suitability of Parker Road for width grading construction.
Is there future development possible based on the rest of that road? And for, how we judged if there was going to be 6 more lots and the road isn't of a certain size and it's private, that the intensity of that road, intensifying use is potentially, we're dealing with what's in front of us, I get
Yeah.
that, but is there more development to come?
I don't expect that. I think this was, again, in response to us giving them direction on the accessory apartment that they filed. Again, I think they just wanted a place for the son to live. And, so they created a lot of adjacent.
But there's nothing in here deeded that says, we give them an A&R, and the son doesn't live there and they sell it.
No, you
They
can't.
can do whatever, it's an A&R, they own the
They can
land.
do that, that's right.
Right, so one has nothing, they came in for
You're
an
right.
accessory, which I'm just,
On a private road, it's treated just like a public way, public road.
if they can meet
The
conditions.
only one that I believe is you can't grant frontage on is a right-of-way for a.
Well, that's obvious, right, right.
I believe, correct, Bill?
What, Tracy? Tracy,
Well, it has
what?
to be quote unquote a private way that's recognized as
It's a
private.
As a-
rabbit hole.
Has to
that
have
it-
certain
that's
criteria that it
called.
meets.
Yeah.
By what date?
We should just-
Private way means nothing more than if they want to pave it, they all
You
pitch
can't
in and they
create an
pave it.
easement to-
It's two different
We plow it.
animals.
Yeah.
Private
Right.
way and a right of way are
Totally
two different
different.
things. So we're just looking at
Right.
this
And A&R.
with grade and
Yeah.
construction of Parker Road.
What is the
right
width
now.
of Parker Road?
Variable.
It varies. It
Terrible.
varies. It varies. It's a narrow road. It was a camp road at one time. There are several,
So it's the size of a driveway?
several year-round residents that live down there now.
12
It has pull-off areas where if one car's coming up and one's coming down, there's an area
Yeah,
for
it's
one
like
car.
my road. Yeah, it's like mine, which is probably 10 feet. or
If
whatever.
you remember correctly, you drove down that road a few years ago to look at another lot at the end of it.
Yeah,
So,
but there could be more lots.
there could be, but
Yeah.
it's a private way.
could be.
But
That's
what
what
you-
it's called.
are you
Do we need the
opening a can of
width of
worms?
the road
No.
on the
Because it
sketch
meets other criteria.
to make the decision or
We
not?
don't, typically, you're not showing that level of detail on an A&R plan.
Okay.
If the board,
Confused.
we have time, this recently came in, if you look at my notes,
I saw you had a lot of notes on it.
Does the private way have to be in conception before a certain date? Can a private way be created and all of a sudden all these lots open up on a road that's not of grade, size, it's not standard of any public road to develop on?
private.
A private road could be started tomorrow. on-
Right,
on
but-
property.
so we don't have time, it came in on 10/29,
But isn't it our
we act
responsibility?
on it tonight.
Isn't
Yeah.
our responsibility to make sure that the road is appropriate for
So
what's
they
being developed on
did,
it?
they did check it's a way in existence. That's
Yeah.
what they're claiming. They're not saying
Yes, it is a way
anything
in
else.
existence.
Yeah, that's all.
And it is on
okay with
the
it.
town clerk's map of,
Yeah.
So on any private way, somebody could break off, and as long as they get their criteria based on the zoning, they can start developing lots on a tiny little nothing road that isn't even paved, and there's no standard. I'm trying to, because I came in newer to this, and I'm trying to understand what I thought we were talking about, which is we want standards.
Right, like Lake Shore.
we can,
On new stuff.
we can say that it doesn't meet with grade and construction if we want to, if we feel that it doesn't meet with grade and construction. It's up to the board,
Right.
But then you can't endorse
but
it.
then you can't endorse it, exactly.
So if we compare this to our last Lake Shore, this certainly is in much better shape than Lake Shore from a.
That was Cahill.
That was Cahill. That's
Right.
right. So-
Right, and I-
We
so-
made him
Use that as a
improve it.
barometer. This is in better condition than that.
Because it was paved.
No, I remember that, I wasn't particularly loving it. but-
Yeah,
But
I mean, the number of vehicles that use
And
this road
it's a well-established
already
history, too.
to get to the campsites is significant, and so
More.
there you could make the argument, okay, 2 more vehicles accessing this one lot is.
And what about if
At the beginning
it's
of the
20 more
road, too.
vehicles accessing other
There was
lots?
enough open land there.
We're not being asked to look at 20 of them.
And you
With
can't-
7 lots, maybe you want to think.
Right.
But what happens if it's, I'm sorry, guys, I'm just trying to
No,
think.
that's fine, Aaron, no, that's fine.
It's my planning, I guess, that's in my way. So say that's 1 here, and then 2 years is 2 more, and 2 years is 2 more, and then there's another 3, and all of a sudden, this can of worms becomes, all the worms start getting out. And then we said, what did we do? In the beginning, we granted it based on, we thought it was grade, sufficient width.
Just because you approve this doesn't mean you can't
Right.
deny the next.
We don't set precedent.
Okay, well then, let's remember what we did, that's all. I know
Well,
it's
no
in
different than
paper.
the one that you approved before, too. You approved.
The scenarios change every time.
I know, you
Case by
approved
case.
one before, and the issues really didn't come up. We went down there. I know it's coming up now, but it's the same road.
It's just a
The road hasn't
discussion,
changed.
I'm not opposed, I just want to
Yeah.
So
understand what this town
If it
allows.
expands, then we would have to reassess
Assess it, right.
the
Right.
road, the portion that is along their frontage that they're claiming for
Okay.
the A&R plan.
It's good clearinghouse, I want to understand
Yep.
what it means later, it
We
doesn't
can
mean
always
later.
have them improve it like we
Right, we
did
can,
Cahill.
we can
If it's
request it.
unsafe and fire trucks and
Right.
ambulances can't get there.
Yeah.
It's just unpaved roads.
It's
have-
Paved road.
This is paved,
But
but
it's
the
small.
difference
It's
is
a-
the width.
It's the width,
It's tight.
yeah.
It's very,
Roughly paved.
Yes,
Well, it's roughly paved, so.
yeah.
I know our road is just a mess all the time, and we keep doing stuff.
Yours is dirt.
Yours is not paved.
No, it isn't, it's not nearly anything.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
yep.
All right. Board, any other questions, comments?
No, I think that was a good solution
Yeah.
Yeah,
to what they were trying to do.
yeah.
There is,
So-
And it's more at the beginning of the road than
Right.
way down at the
Yeah.
bottom, so.
Right, so
Yeah, so
if we,
it's-
we approve this to a certain extent to their frontage, and then if someone further along, we say this needs to look like the beginning of it, just like we did Lake Shore.
Right.
Yeah.
And is there room on either side if
Yeah,
we ever
yeah.
wanted
Yeah.
to?
Yeah.
Exactly.
This is the, no, it is not.
Well, it's not the one with the grade on it, like you said.
No. This is the first round of plans that I had commented on, so the edits are not on this.
Well, the grades aren't on there.
No, the edits are not.
That's the only one that Jarvis gave, that provided me.
Right, I'm telling you, because one of my comments was there's 5 signature lines for the planning board, and he took this block and moved it over here on the revised version.
Oh,
Okay, so.
Yeah,
I'm
we have
looking at
both
that,
of
the
them.
notes are not here.
Okay.
There were a number of notes that he had.
That was just what he provided me with.
well,
I'm just letting you know,
Yeah.
this is not the correct plan.
Right.
So what are we
They
gonna,
can vote to
is there
endorse
anything to endorse?
So-
This one here has 7 on it.
Yeah,
So this one
this
here
is
we
the
have is
correct
different than that
one.
one?
Correct.
Yeah.
right, and that's the one we have to sign.
We just don't have a
which-
Mylar
This
to
is
sign.
the
Yeah.
Mylar.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
Yeah,
don't have a
it's not
Mylar to
right.
sign.
What are you gonna do?
What's-
So we can approve the plan.
yeah,
No, we can, we just won't.
We can endorse the plan.
motion to,
I mean, that's up to the board.
But we can't sign it until we actually
Can
have
I
the
come
correct
back with
plan.
that other one that
So,
you
so
provided?
there's 2 things you can do tonight as a board. You can act on the plan that's before you, or you can, the applicant can withdraw it and refile it, and we can waive the fee.
Well, he was just going to ask something, I don't know if it's proper. It sounded like maybe you were saying, run, get a hold of the guy and print out the right thing.
Well, no, my surveyor.
Back tonight?
No, this was, because I
Alright.
reached out your email.
I need your name and address first, if we're gonna have comments.
You couldn't have got me that Mylar, I'm sorry, but that was the only Mylar in the actual plan that
He
you got me,
printed the wrong
besides
one
the one that you
for him.
emailed me.
Okay, I need your name and address so we can be on.
Sorry.
make a
Paul
motion
Parker
to
Road.
endorse
Okay, thank you.
and not endorse it, then
We need the Mylar, the right Mylar.
So,
sign it.
so I'll just share with the board, there's a number of things.
Can you actually, could you pull that one up that he emailed you?
Yeah, the board has that one.
We're looking at that one right now.
Got it.
There's 2 different ones. Do you want this copy?
Oh,
Yeah.
Hold on, let me just screen share it now.
So the one that we would the Mylar is incorrect.
Has to have 7 lines on it. That's the number one thing,
In the
for all of
notes,
us,
in the markup.
to sign it.
So-
Yeah.
Yeah, we have,
So, for example, on this version that's on the screen, you'll see the
Seven.
notes there above the stamp.
Yep.
They're not on this plan. A number of those notes are typical for our regulations. The signature block is revised
Right.
from what was originally done. You know, so the notes get into the access.
Yeah.
property, you know,
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
so I mean, we're willing to go along with this, but we can't sign nothing.
I
So,
understand that. I was saying,
it's
if
mute.
you were to approve it, is there any way I can come back with a 7-line one and I
we
can
need-
sign those?
We need all.
Deadline's up.
Next
Oh, the
to
next,
what?
just, you'd have to bring it in for the next
That's what
meeting.
I'm saying, I'd bring it in for the next meeting if you guys were to.
Right.
approve it.
So again, the way it would be handled is you
Is-
would withdraw this.
Right.
In writing, and then you could refile
With no fee, right?
with
No fee.
Okay.
Because it has to be right. I mean, I had to do this and it had to be right every time. Yeah.
We need it in writing tonight, though,
Yeah.
because we have to act on it tonight.
We don't have the luxury of the timeline.
You know what we're saying? We'll waive the fee.
I understand what you're
We'll
saying.
have to withdraw and then just come in with the right one next meeting.
Yeah, withdraw's good. It starts the clock, so, right? Starts the clock over, yeah. You get it done next meeting.
So what you're.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
No, well, you have to decide. Do
You
you
have to
want
tell
I will- I will do that, I'll withdraw this one right now and I will come back with the next
So
one
you
in
have to
December or
accept the
something.
withdrawal.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, but we need it in writing.
We will need it in writing.
You'll need to write it out tonight, because
So we need to make a motion on it?
we can make a motion to accept the withdrawal and to waive the fee for a resubmittal.
So moved.
Well, can I just ask a question? Can we
Yeah.
freeze for 1 second?
Yep.
Yep.
Why can't we make a motion to endorse with the plan date as such a date and then come and sign it? I'm just double checking A&R
Yeah.
rules. I thought that we had done that in the past, where the person was here, but then they didn't have the Mylar, they said they would bring it tomorrow, and,
Yeah, but then.
I've never seen one, I don't think, since I've been here without a
Really?
Mylar.
Right.
I've seen without the paper print, but
And then
not a
everybody-
because we
Mylar.
do have a good plan, and we have a
Right.
plan date that we can say we're voting on this specific
one.
one
Yeah.
that's in front of us. I'm just,
You know, and treat it like they didn't bring the,
Would that satisfy,
The reason being, I think, Tracy, is because
The signature
our
date,
deadline's up.
yeah, so it's automatically approved anyway, which we want it to be.
well, no, no,
It's
no.
automatically,
Yeah,
it's
I don't like-
constructively
But Mike's
granted.
problem, to Ernie's point, then they could file, they could submit either one without the notes or one,
Okay.
so.
I just wanted to see for endorsement,
if we endorse it tonight in
We
concept.
can't
and
endorse, it.
follow
we don't
up-
have a plan to endorse.
move to endorse it.
Right, if we move
but
to
not
endorse this.
actually endorse
Does
it.
that satisfy, even though the Mylar might come in a few days?
I think the cleanest way to do it is to
I
do a
agree.
withdrawal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I agree.
and that's dotting the i's, crossing the t's.
Come back with the right plan
Yeah.
next meeting, and
I'm just-
we came in a situation
Add to
where
read list.
an applicant had two different plans related to a garage, and he moved the garage, or took the garage out, garage was gonna be there, garage wasn't gonna be there.
Yeah.
And it created too much.
Right, right.
This is a lot cleaner to say,
well, the motion's been made and seconded.
nobody seconded it
No,
yet.
we so move, you so moved.
I so
it.
moved it.
Made. She asked if she could
You
ask
so
the
moved
question.
to accept the withdrawal.
Right.
Yeah.
we'll get it written.
But
And it wasn't in writing either.
we're good, Bill?
Right.
All right, you okay with that, Tracy? You want to keep checking?
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't have enough time, so if the board is fine with that, I just want
So we'll
to.
accept.
Okay, motion's been made by Mike
Second.
Z. I need a second.
Second by Aaron.
Second by Aaron, okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Tracy Sharkey, aye.
Paul Stevens, aye.
Jake Schultzberg, aye.
Mike Swicker, aye?
Aaron Sokrat, aye.
Ernie Mac's aye. All right, we'll see you at the next meeting,
Yeah.
and we'll sign off on everything then.
Yeah. Yeah, have a good one.
Correct plan.
That helps. Hey, it's happened before.
Okay. Finding anything?
Believe it or not.
No,
No.
there's 191.
All right, 7:30, it's not quite 7:30 yet, so we can't open the public hearing.
Number 5.
Sure.
Number 5.
Upton. 466 North.
All right, let's go to the second page on the agenda, we'll do number 5, Upton Site.
Gene, are you there?
Here.
Okay. Why don't you speak to your item?
What we're seeking to do tonight is just change the security agreement that we currently have with Upton, which is under the name of the company Upton Site Remediation, to the company that owns Upton Site Remediation, Cover Technologies. Cover Technologies has been doing all the contract work on the project since we started. It uses Cover Technologies employees. Upton Site Remediation was set up to do a landfill closure project in Upton that was finished several years ago, and we're just seeking to change the name of the surety. The surety conditions stay the same, everything remains the same in terms of what Bill being satisfied with the site conditions before the surety would be released. All we're trying to do is just change the guarantor name to the company that's actually doing the work.
So I did run this by town council. Town council says that it's perfectly reasonable what they're requesting. And just to give the board a little comfort level on the company names, we've kind of bounced back and forth throughout this entire project between the two companies. And, certainly I don't expect they're going anywhere. I know they have a long history of operating. So the new company I'm not concerned about. And I did go, just to give you an update, I did go out there recently, and they filled quite a bit. So I don't know how much life you think you got left out there, Gene?
Hopefully as short as possible. We're trying to close the site out. It's tremendously in terms of usable land now. So at any point that we leave, he's in a far better condition than when we started. But I think we have maybe 6 months at the most left. It just depends on getting a couple of more good jobs to come in where the fill is suitable.
So what we would need is a vote authorizing the assignment from Upton Site Remediation to Cover Technologies. Is it LLC, Gene?
No, it's Cover Technologies Incorporated.
Okay, and then if we need the sureties, the new surety signed, I would suggest that we authorize the chairman to sign on behalf of the board.
Board, any
I
questions?
was gonna say so moved, but you just kept going on.
Yeah, you can say so moved.
So a motion for the assignment from Upton Site Remediation LLC to Cover Technologies Incorporated, and also authorizing the chair to sign on behalf of the board.
Second that.
Motion made by Tracy, seconded by Mike Z. Any further discussion? Vote.
Tracy Sharkey, aye.
Paul Stevens, aye.
Jake Schultzberg, aye.
Mike Swicker, aye.
Aaron Sokrat, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Ernie Mac's aye. All right, all set, Gene.
Thanks, Gene.
All right, thank you very much. Thanks, Bill.
Yep.
Yeah.
Does that clock say 7:30? I can't see it.
Hey, have a
Not
good
quite
Thanksgiving.
yet.
Yeah, take it easy.
2 minutes?
Do something else.
Something else? Yep.
You got something quick?
Number 1, are they here? Douglas Renewables. No. Number 2 is here, which is also number at 8 o'clock.
Oh,
Quickly, if you want to
Discussion.
talk about 45 Oak Street.
Chair, I recuse myself.
and let the record show that Mike Z has recused himself.
Jackie, are you here?
Hi, I'm here. Yes.
Okay.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
So this actually has to do with
Comments?
So we have a draft decision in your packet, and I'm not sure why it says redesign. I'm looking at that. Is that feedback?
It's a Martian.
Is that you, Jackie? It is. Let me just give a summary
Fingers are
first.
kind of messed up on my computer, so I'll just stay muted unless I'm talking.
Okay. Well, let me ask you first, Jackie. Did you have a chance to check with Jeffrey regarding those town council comments?
Yes, you just sent those over to me today, so I took a look at those. So I think I'd be happy to discuss a couple of those items. I think one first, I think we're all on the same page about the 2 conditions on how many years
okay,
the permit will last.
Yeah. Let me just jump in first. So you have a draft decision in your packet that's gone back several times with the applicant.
Yep.
The hearing's closed.
Yep.
We have, I guess, agreement on most of the conditions, so it's the red line version in your packet. You'll also see a town council email there
Yep.
with 4 comments. Those are the ones that we're focusing on, that we don't really necessarily agree on. So with that, I'll turn it over to you, Jack.
Oh, she's muted still.
Yeah, I don't have control of that.
No, it's all right.
I was muted, wasn't I?
It worked, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. So just wanted to, clarify, I think the items that we're talking about are the, well, again, I have certain numbers, I don't know if they match up with the red line, your numbers, but the site work question, the notice question, the stormwater condition, and the security condition. Is that correct?
I'm looking for,
Background.
yeah. That's you, Jay. We got some feedback on your line.
Yeah.
In the hallway?
Also in the hallway.
I'm not even sure what it was.
Look, he's at home.
Do you have a red line?
You have
Does
the-
anybody have
No.
red? We just have black and white,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
that's what I thought, that's why I was looking around again.
Yeah, I'm looking for town council's email. Let me pull it up here on the screen.
How'd you go?
This says from Jay,
You're not talking about this, are you?
right here?
Oh.
This email?
Yes, it is. That's the one.
Yeah, we got it.
Do you have the email?
Choosing.
45?
Just jumping the
Yeah,
gun.
yeah.
All right, so in the decision, which I need to pull up myself, because I don't have
Yeah, neither do I.
it. You don't either? Well, I'm gonna
I go.
pull it up.
All right, there we go.
So delete 13 and 14, we
I
agree.
say that.
So number 40.
Oh, yeah, I got it.
I do have this email also, so now, this is the one that I do have, Jeff forwarded over to me, so I know what we're talking about now.
Oh, okay. So do you agree with the,
That was the one that we were talking about.
do you want to talk about these, or do you agree with the town's position?
So I did want to talk about 40 specifically. So I did want to understand the town's perspective on what exactly they wanted to understand about the buyers, and that they just want to make sure that they've been introduced to the buyer of the project, and that there's, a requirement that they have to come to maybe a public hearing and introduce themselves, or that they are, financially, the same or equal or greater capability to us as the applicant. Just want to understand exactly what the concerns are there with written notice.
Yeah, I saw Jay online. So all I can do is read what he wrote here. He says he doesn't like their change to 40. He didn't give any logic as to why. But Jay, I don't know if you want to comment on that?
So, sorry, because someone else is doing a Zoom call, house too, so I'm sorry, there's something else. So on the issue regarding knowing where the assigner is going, or the assignee is going to be, we want to know, because we want to know who we're doing business with. There has been, unfortunately, more than a few solar companies that have taken control of projects and gone belly up, leaving us with half-completed projects. So I think it's only fair that we at least get to evaluate someone's wherewithal. Again, I think it says such approval not to be unreasonably withheld, so we don't care about your business terms or anything like that. We just want to know that we're dealing with an experienced person that's capable of managing a project, and that's pretty standard. So I'd like to have some degree of control over this stuff.
Is it possible that if the experience that you're talking about, if there's a specific maybe definition of it where it's like if they meet a certain threshold, then it's just written notice, or if not, then you get approval, just so we have an understanding, and so that the long-term owner knows exactly what they're getting themselves into, because this could be perceived as concerning, because something that I mentioned to Bill is that oftentimes, and specifically for this project, it will be getting sold with other projects, and so if just the town of Douglas has approval rights, it could affect multiple other projects.
Well, I don't think you would do
It's too
that,
bad.
for a couple reasons. One, I think it's a qualitative evaluation, not a quantitative, so trying to make details is difficult. But, I do land use permits every day, and permits routinely require you to come back and get an approval. And the reason I inserted the language of not to be unreasonably withheld is to show that we are 9 times out of 10, maybe more than that, going to allow it as a matter of course. But I think it's important that we know who we're doing business with, so that there can be some recourse and evaluation of that party's wherewithal. And it doesn't chill the business terms of it, because again, we could look at the permits that boards do town after town after town, and they have similar things, that any assignment has to go back before the board, at least for kind of a pro forma approval.
So is it possible then to have that pro forma approval be what is written into the permit conditions?
that I wrote in.
Yeah, so then pro forma approval, because it's just, again, it creates this level of subjectivity that the buyer will not know what to expect.
It's already built in. It already says such approval not to be unreasonably withheld. That's pretty light. It's pretty minor. I think if we added more details, it'd probably be worse for you because it would be, if you fail to meet a certain criteria, here, just show up with someone who's done a solar project before or is capable of doing a solar project, and you're gonna get it, you're gonna get a yes. That's pretty good.
So is that okay, Jackie?
I mean, if there's not going to be any other, you know,
So,
consideration, then I don't really know how we can move forward a different way.
Right.
so I got a question, Jay, to the chair. Les Stevens here. So your concern is if they sell the project to another solar company that's coming in to build it, that either they're not going to be at the same standard or of a solar company to execute the project, or their awareness of the current state of the project and their ability to complete the project?
I think all those things are relevant.
Yeah, I agree. Is that your concern? I'm just wondering. Is that your concern with this item? Okay.
I would evaluate all those. It should be someone, I mean, if we get someone that comes on board with 6 banks and no completed projects, you're not going to allow that transfer.
The portfolio of the big company.
How does that, how do you stop that transfer?
Well,
would have to
they
come
need a
back.
permit. So and they can sell whatever they want, but if they can't use the permit, it's not going to do them much good.
They would reapply, like
Yeah.
our earth removal, when you change
Okay.
the applicant.
Okay.
This is kind of an open-ended,
Yeah.
and it's relative. I mean, did we vet this company? Like, do we know anything about?
No, did we vet them all this way? Did we wrote
I
similar
don't know
language?
how to compare the next
I
don't
person to these
Yeah.
people if I don't have a starting point.
So Jay, this was similar language that was put in on West Street's project,
Yes.
as well as, okay, all right. I just want to make sure that we're following the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, look, yeah, you're not looking into someone's soul per se,
Yeah.
but before you, over a number of meetings, you get to know the project. They submitted a bunch of professional materials, so you get a feeling that they've been able to complete their project.
Yeah.
I can tell you that, especially on solar, and this is not a reflection of Blue Wave, who I don't have bad experiences with, number of solar projects in other communities get transferred and gone belly up, and we're stuck half-built, non-functional infrastructure that we have to get rid of.
No, I understand. I just wanted the clarification, that's all.
More of a courtesy protocol.
All right.
Yeah, so you'll
It's similar
notice
practice.
At the top of the header there, you'll see it does say the 170 West Street property, even though this decision, that was the
Okay.
template I used.
Okay. It's a
All right.
similar protocol.
We have other ones on this? or-
I hope that doesn't happen. I hope the whole thing gets built.
Yeah,
No, but
let's get it built.
Sometimes you
Yeah,
know,
that's not something that we're concerned
Yeah.
with.
No.
You know,
yeah, right.
buyer that, like I said, will be purchasing multiple projects and they're, have solar projects across the country.
Yep.
Other
So
line items?
I think that's kind of why we're concerned that they would feel that this would potentially hold up their ability to purchase this project or other projects. If there was an approval process and understanding what that approval process looks like.
Yeah, they can always submit something prior to the board, for who they are and stuff like
And the
that.
due diligence.
Due diligence
Right.
period of that. And they're also going to look at the size of the project and see if that fits in their portfolio with the number of projects they've got in the area, depending on the size of the solar company. So I'm okay with it. But,
So how are you on the other items, Jackie?
So the other items wanted to discuss, so I know we talked about, I think the next one, just if we're going in order, correct?
Yep.
Well, actually, I don't know if we're in order, but the next one order would be the site work question, or like how we would define the commencement of construction.
Yes, so I'll speak to this. Number 41, which basically is a concern of mine because I prefer a solid point that we can reference as a start date for the project. And typically, we'll point to the foundations. So whether they're poured concrete, whether they're drilled piles, whether they're, screw-type foundations, it's a tangible point in time that we can point to as the start of construction. If we leave it as something like site work, tree clearing, grading,
Yeah.
that's a lot more subjective on
That's
when the start date is.
It's preparation of the site, not really
Right.
the
And
site work.
This goes really to the permit
Yeah.
start date.
Yeah.
So right here, we have if the permit's not commenced within 3 years, then they have to refile.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So if,
Well, they can ask for an extension.
I'm sure they can ask for an extension
Yeah.
and, it'd be up to the board
Yeah.
to,
Grant.
I'm just saying, refile or an extension.
but, so, if they cut down a tree, does that qualify as start of construction?
No.
So that's my concern.
Yeah. They don't, subject to the board.
So is it possible, so just to add, I know one of the comments, Bill, you mentioned was that, some of that site work would not necessarily would be able to begin before the building permit was issued, and so we're wondering if adding into the definition, like continuous site work after receipt of the building permit, including an element to these other items, because then it's clear that it's not just like one or two trees, but there's continuous work and it's begun, because a lot of times, there's a month and a half where we're actively in construction, but haven't been able to start putting in the foundations for the panels, and so we wouldn't want it to last in that period of time potentially. I mean, we don't think it's gonna last in 3 years, but just
3 years.
from a
That's a long time.
I mean, we never know, something might come up with the utility, I mean, again, a pandemic, we really unfortunately can't define those things, but we think that, as long as it's clear that it's after, work that has begun after receipt of the building permit, that should.
If it's a 3-year pandemic, we don't need the electricity.
I think it's just about communication, them telling us what the status is.
It's a benchmark. 3 years is a
Benchmark,
benchmark.
yeah.
It's something to tie everybody to.
You know what I mean?
Who added the commencement of site work? The applicant did? Commencement of site work including but not limited to? The applicant
The one in red?
added that? Yeah.
Yes.
And it used to be defined
what's on
as
the right?
construction of the foundations?
Right, it
Yeah, that
used to
makes
read,
sense.
for the purposes of this paragraph, commencement of construction shall be defined as the construction of foundation for the project's proposed solar
It
panels.
makes sense.
That's what I had. They want to change it to shall be defined as commencement of site work, including but not limited to access road construction, tree clearing, or grading work.
I would cross out tree clearing or grading work.
So they could be 4.5 years by the project's done if they don't start to just before the 3 years on grading and such. So, I don't know.
And the other thing is, like, building permit is, conventionally a good point in time to, use.
Yeah.
They could file the building permit forthwith and then start, 2 years down the road. And that's why we're talking foundation construction. They don't need a building permit to do any of that stuff that they've highlighted. And,
Right.
it, again, to me, it's a little concerning. I would advise against it. Town council also agrees.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, it's supposed to be substantial construction, like permanent structures.
Yeah, progress.
Yeah,
Clearly like digging of the foundations
Yeah.
and preparation.
So we're comfortable with what you had, Bill? Is that-
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, even
even something with more teeth, you're saying?
I mean, it has to be permanent structures, if not foundations, but,
Yeah, and it says foundations.
yeah.
I think leave it the way it was, in my opinion.
Yeah, I like the original print.
Yeah. All right. What was the applicant think of that?
Yeah, it's not substantial enough, what you're proposing.
So it sounds like we have consensus with the board, Jackie?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the only reason why we brought it up is because in all of our other projects permits, it's just, this is the definition is grading and access road construction and tree clearing, but if that's something that this board is not comfortable with, I mean, we can make it be foundations. I think, you know, as long as you mentioned, we shifted it, or didn't really shift it, but showed the 3-year length versus the 2-year length, I think that should be fine.
All right.
Good.
So given that, I would suggest incorporating those edits, and we're good to sign. You can, I have 2 signature pages there for the board if you want to sign. We'll need a.
There were.
Is the date going to
I'm
change
sorry,
too?
There were still two more items, just wanted to make sure.
Oh, I'm
we
sorry.
addressed.
42?
I know there was a comment about the 95% of design in condition, I think it might be 47 for you guys in the stormwater.
Oh, yeah, what was that about?
We basically, he was just saying, you know, to provide a little bit of room if, you know, it was, I don't know, he was like, it's fine, you don't need to include that. But I think he was just trying to provide some kind of, you know, cushion, but I think we're fine with it as written, because obviously your goal is just, you know, as long as it's modeled, you know, if it's a, whatever, 25-year storm that was modeled to, that's the type of storm that happened, and it didn't perform at that level, then we would go back to fixing it. I think he just wanted to make sure it wasn't.
So in other words,
the storm was actually much more aggressive and.
In other words, we're going to strike that blue text in number 47. I think Jeff, their engineer, also agreed with me that it was a little ambiguous.
All right, is that in the?
What was the last one, Jackie?
The last one was condition 50, just about the financial surety for Oak Street.
Oh, yes.
So we just wanted to, because I know we added some language in there that didn't make, that you guys weren't necessarily comfortable with, and we're happy to reword it.
So my concern on number 50 is, you know, all of Oak Street will be used to access the site. You're going to have a number of tractor trailer trucks coming in and out of there. They're hauling quite a bit of earth out of there.
Yeah.
So the logic of limiting the repair to Oak Street to 50 feet from the entrance doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
If they're driving over the entire length of Oak Street, you know, and they damage it, you know, we're going to plan on getting surety to repair that.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
Yeah. They plan on,
Yeah, so we also agreed that the 50 feet, and this was, you know, our council just trying to put something that made sense, but he realized that the distance didn't make sense because of the use for construction. So we thought maybe something more along the lines to like, the applicant shall post financial surety for ensuring proper maintenance and upkeep of Oak Street due to unreasonable wear and tear attributable to the applicant during the construction of the project. Might make more sense of like any wear and tear that we cause during construction that is clearly due to our construction vehicles or something along those lines would be our responsibility. Just because, you know, the road is obviously not in perfect condition now, and we went over it one time, you know, it would be a little bit.
May I ask, who's the judge of that?
Well, it'd be a group of us. It'd be the highway superintendent, myself, and the town administrator.
Should it be in there? Just some wording to say it isn't in, they say, well, it didn't look so bad to us. and-
So the surety gets posted with the Board of Selectmen,
Yeah.
because they're the road commissioners. So generally, they would advise the highway superintendent, myself,
To
the town
assess.
administrator, to make a recommendation, and then they would make a determination.
Okay, so it's,
It's spelled out in statute.
good.
and Oak Street's in good shape, the road.
Yeah,
Just comment.
so, all right.
Right,
Just
Mike?
to clarify, when you said
Depends where you're at.
you would make a recommendation.
Quiet you.
What were you talking about? Recommendation for needing surety or the recommendation for the actual surety?
So if there were an issue that arose, the selectman would likely ask the opinion of the highway superintendent, myself, and the town administrator. We'd go out, take a look, do an assessment, and make a report back.
Okay, thanks for clarifying.
No. So just question, how much material is coming off site?
Jackie, do you know the volume of earth going off-site? We did discuss this, I think, on a previous.
Yeah, I know,
It was
truckloads.
pretty- It was pretty
We discussed
significant.
it. I feel like we might have provided calculations. I don't have that number off the top of my head. I could look it up and I can send, you know, back to you on the volume of earth moving. I just don't know that off the top of my head.
Okay. I just, I'd like to know what the estimated.
Yeah, I do believe we discussed that at one of the hearings, so I can see if we have the documentation from that.
Okay.
All right, Bill, anything else?
No, so if everybody's okay, I would suggest that you sign this. It doesn't have to be right now. You can do it at the end of the meeting, and then I'll make the edits that we discussed,
Okay.
And the date, right?
and the date.
Oh, okay, and the address. Right.
Yeah, I
Did the
already fixed
other-
that. See,
Yeah.
she worked off an older version, so
Did the other one have only a year? Or did we do that West Street one 3 years ago? 2 years ago? From this date?
honestly, I have,
I think for you.
If you're using the 21, oh, we gave him 2 years, so it must have been
I think
19.
West Street might
Yeah.
be in your packet.
It's 19, yeah.
Okay, cool.
All right,
Yep,
Hey, Ernie,
all right.
so we already
Ernie.
voted it.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah,
It's just a matter of.
can I sign it?
yeah, we'll sign it at the end of the meeting.
It's right there. I'm gonna leave.
Are you leaving?
'Cause yeah.
Is this it right here, Bill?
Yep.
Cool. All right, back on the front of the page.
Sorry, can this.
Okay, and nothing else on this project, Bill? No? Kathy?
Jackie, all set.
All set?
Yeah, I think that's everything. Thanks so much.
All right,
Great.
thank you.
Have a good night.
Talk to you soon. Have a good night.
Continuous coming up. BWC.
Mr. Chairman, I'm back.
Back.
Let the record show that Mike Z is back at the meeting.
I wasn't aware that they were taking a lot of.
All right, 7:30.
And Mr. Chairman, I'm gonna recuse myself.
And
Leave
Tracy
for
is
the night.
recusing herself from this
Thank
public
you.
hearing.
Remember to change the print.
All right,
Yeah, I just didn't, I
all right.
didn't think they're gonna bring out that
Public
much.
hearing continued, 93 Davis Street Realty. Modification request for site plan review permit number SPR 200428. Public hearing is now open.
Hi, Paul Metnack here with UBI to represent the project tonight. And as you may recall, we were in front of you a little while back to get a modification to the site plan on 93 Davis Street. And brief summary of what that was is essentially we removed the future building expansion that was shown on the initial site plan. And we then moved the pavement interchange closer to the building on the modified plan. And so in front of you, we talked about a few things, and we've submitted some things to you, one of which being earth removal, which is something that was submitted today, and I'm not sure if anybody has any questions on it, but essentially what we did was compare what the initial submittal was to what the modified submittal was in terms of volume, and it came up to 120 approximately cubic yards, so that would be under the 300 cubic yards that we discussed at the last meeting. That was, certainly one of the things that got discussed. And I think there were a couple other items that you were going to work on for the decision that have gone back and forth a little bit. But mostly we were at the point where we were talking about details of the decision. So I'd be happy to answer any questions that anybody has.
Bill?
120 cubic yards.
Yeah, Paul, could you again say when the dates between the cut and fill analysis was?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
What is the cut and fill analysis comparing? What conditions? Is that the site plan that was submitted, or is that a different point in time?
It is, so it compares between the site plan that was initially submitted and approved.
So the existing conditions,
Well, the grading shown on the initial site plan is what it shows, is what it compares.
For the existing
We
conditions.
basically, we submitted that, it got approved, we were constructing it, and then we modified it. So now we show the difference between the two plans, the submitted and then the modified.
So, again, the March 20th, the March 2020 site plan and the current proposal, is that correct?
Whatever, I don't recall, I think it was after March, but I'm not totally sure. Whatever the initial approved site plan was that we received permits on, and those permits
So-
were recorded, and we began construction
For the existing
on
conditions.
that permit.
For the existing conditions. So I'm looking,
No, the proposed contours for the initial approved site plan.
so you're comparing the proposed contours from the first submittal to the proposed contours of the second submittal.
Correct.
So what is the volume between the existing contours shown on both submittals and the proposed for this submittal?
Well, it was GBI's understanding that we were comparing the initial one that we've already basically started construction on and did a lot of work on, so they modified. I thought that's what we were comparing from that last meeting.
So what my question is, I mean, so I think you're pretty close to triggering the earth removal bylaw requirements, is my point. If you take the site before construction, because there's been some activity on site,
Yes.
Yep.
and your proposed modified plan, that's the volume that we're looking for. I did send an email to Karen Keegan indicating that. So the existing conditions to
Meaning the existing, like prior to doing.
the initial survey as though, that's correct. That's correct.
Yeah, so that's not what, I guess that's not what the understanding was on GBI side.
Okay, we can still do it. We can still have a condition in there. I mean,
Yeah.
if they meet, if they exceed it, they exceed it. If they don't, they don't. I mean, it's very straightforward.
How are you gonna be able to prove they do or they don't?
Well, they either do or they don't. I mean,
Yeah, it's what, 300 yards
300 yards.
of material, and he's coming in at 120.
But he's comparing
I
the
don't know, I'm just-
proposed design from the first submittal to the proposed design of the second.
Not the original site.
Just talking where the numbers are.
No, I just want to make sure you understand.
Is that a lot of that work has already happened, so whatever, it was done on the valid permit, so now we're modifying that permit, so we're going back before the permit we already had.
What a bunch of-
We're not just comparing the two proposed contours. The difference between
You
the
either
two.
trigger the bylaw, you either trigger the bylaw or you
Earth
don't.
removal is earth removal.
Yeah, so either it's 300 yards or more, or it's less. And it's, if it's within a,
That's fine, that was just, that was.
if it's within a 12-month period.
Yeah,
Good, all right.
okay.
So that condition would be that if they trigger it, they'll be filing an earth removal permit.
Correct. Well, it doesn't even have to be a condition, it exists, but what I would suggest is the board ask for that information.
Yeah.
Because I think it's pretty close, so, you know,
Yeah.
probably.
All right. Yeah, we need that number.
Well, the engineers will figure it out.
Yeah, we can calculate it. It's not going to move.
Just to clarify, you're saying prior, like, so the existing conditions plan shown on the initial submittal, just compare that to what the modified proposed contours are.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. So if I look at both plans, Paul, there's a note, and I'll read it, if I have the plans the right way. It says, "Existing boundary and topographic information based upon an on-the-ground survey performed by GBI in March 2020." So that's still within the one-year period.
Right.
I'm not sure what the 1 year is. If we're
No.
comparing to that, then that's what we're comparing to.
Yeah, the one-year period is defined in our bylaw.
Yeah.
So that's the first comment. The second comment,
I don't even know if there's been material moved off site.
Radius.
oh, the turning radius, thank you. I'm having some technical difficulty here, it's not coming up. Paul, have you looked at the turning radius issue?
No, I can't say that I have, to be honest. I wasn't working on that. But, so what is your question?
So, and again, this can be dealt with as a condition if you want, I think it's already in there as a
Yeah.
condition.
Then they have to meet the determinants.
So they submitted, it's in your packets, I'm sorry, I can't get it up on the
Yeah.
screen.
Yeah. very good.
They submitted a turning radius and, oh,
Yeah.
this one worked.
Yeah.
So here's their revised turning radius.
Yeah.
We talked to Freeman Pedersen, who did the first one, and they did as well.
Yeah.
And here we go. And Freeman Pedersen indicates that there was a scaling issue. So they basically traced what had been done by Freeman Pedersen previously, but there was an issue with the scaling of the size of the truck. So the truck actually ended up being smaller than in reality
Oh, I thought it was,
on what they did. So well, I would just say, let's just maintain that condition, and then they revise this to the correct scale, and,
Yeah, we need the
yeah,
correct scale on the plan.
right.
well, that's the agreement Patterson ran the model.
They reviewed what
They
GBI,
provided for the model. Okay. All right, I'm just trying to clarify. So they caught this late, or in the second review?
we got it yesterday.
No, meaning, yeah, when they looked at, they're talking about the first one, when they looked at it.
They did the first one.
Correct.
They had some communication with GBI. They
Yep.
tried to follow the methodology.
Yeah.
I think the plan they worked off of was maybe scaled down.
Oh, the scale, okay. I'm thinking of the truck
So
scale. I'm
the
thinking of the
truck
truck.
that they traced
Yeah,
was a smaller scale
Yeah.
truck.
okay.
So it probably maneuvers a little more. It would have been better if they scaled it the other way.
Yeah,
And-
bigger truck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So we'll just keep that as a condition, is what you're
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think the earth removal even has to be a condition. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
But I think the board should request, that calculation.
Yeah, I want the number.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know.
So aside from that, I think we're on the same page with the decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they all,
Yeah, and I think we are with that too, so yeah, I think we're all in agreement with the decision.
cool. All right.
Board, any comments, questions?
That's something we can have signed tonight, so you guys ready to do that?
Yeah, the hearing's still open, the board can vote and,
Yeah.
choose to sign it. I think you've got copies in there.
I got a bunch of
Please
stuff
tell
in
me
there.
you do.
Yeah,
I'll look right now.
yeah, the hearing was continued from the last meeting. Remember we-
Right.
Yes.
So, just for the record.
Yeah, we have it in here.
Good.
And everybody's reviewed this? No wishes, no concerns, no
No, we
comments?
went back and forth a number of times and
good.
got some feedback, we made the edits. I think we're all on the same page.
Okay. All right, anybody else on the board have any comments or questions? All right. This is a public hearing. Anybody in the audience, comments or questions? Applicant?
All good?
All set. Anybody online? Comments or questions? Seeing none, hearing none. Okay. All right.
What do we do, close the hearing first? Is that? Being that-
We all set?
Yeah, yep.
Go ahead, Aaron. Yeah.
I make a motion to close the hearing for, my eyes are not working, 93 Davis Street.
I'll second that.
Motion made by Aaron, seconded by Mike Z. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Les Stevens, aye.
Mike Swicker, aye.
Aaron Sokrat, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Ernie Mac's aye. All right. We need a vote on the
Thanks very
conditions.
much, appreciate it.
Well, thanks,
Hold on.
Paul. See ya.
That was to
Happy
close,
Thanksgiving.
You too.
Yeah,
So-
see you, Paul.
that was to close
Close
the
the door,
hearing. right?
public
That
hearing?
was to close the hearing,
Right,
yeah.
Now we have to vote on the conditions.
Well,
We're gonna go through them all, or we're all set with them?
I think we're all,
They're drafted, you should have the final, I
Right.
think in your.
Yeah.
packet,
you have it in your
So
packet.
would
I would
be
just-
making-
Okay?
reference the date, the November 19th, 2020
Sure.
Yep,
modifications to the site plan Thank you.
And a motion?
I'll make a
Is
motion
that a motion?
for that, for 93 Davis Street.
Then I'll second that.
Okay, motion made by Les, seconded by Mike Z. Any further discussion? Vote, please.
Les Stevens, aye.
Mike Zwicker, aye.
Aaron Sokrat, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Ernie Mac's aye.
There we go.
Anything else, Bill? Nope.
And I'll be
So,
Take it with me?
no.
No.
There's an appeal period, we'll take that, have it stamped by the town clerk, and then after the appeal period expires, we'll send you a copy, or you can pick it up.
But it's signed tonight, closed tonight, everything's done right now?
Correct.
Everything's done. We closed the public hearing.
We sign it.
We approved the
Yeah.
conditions. We will sign it tonight, and then it goes to the town clerk for a
Okay,
stamp.
because you're the only one that signs tonight.
No, we all sign it.
We all
Oh,
sign.
you are? You're all going to sign it this
Yeah.
time? Oh,
Yeah, we all got to sign
Yeah.
it.
I put all theirs.
Yeah.
Since they're here.
Okay.
I'll be staring at this for 2 weeks. Seriously.
So,
This
right now, you're good to go.
Looks like the thing in the
All right?
newspaper.
Doesn't it? Oh, yeah, it looks like something, if you stare at it along a way, it might be a little,
You gotta put on the, writing
This is right.
glasses.
Yeah.
it might be a teddy bear or a turkey for Thanksgiving. Yeah,
Looks like a COVID result, like lab test results or something.
not a result I want.
Green, blue, red.
So,
Yeah, watch out, he does that.
He
He does that, whoever sits next to him.
So we just approved this, right?
Yeah.
right.
Yes, we did.
So it, project is over.
Yes.
Project's just started.
It's
Kicked it off,
over.
Right.
done.
All right.
All right,
Thank you, gentlemen, have a great night.
Thank you.
Have a-
Good luck with
have a
everything.
Thanksgiving.
yep,
Good luck.
Take it easy.
good holidays.
We just planted the seeds for this project,
Anything else?
literally.
Yeah.
Huh?
Kate May?
Catching up, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
Love of my life.
Hallelujah. All right,
I agree with Aaron on this.
we did the 8 o'clock already, BWC.
I think there's
Nothing
a
more on that, Bill?
continuation.
Sorry?
We did BWC. didn't
No,
we?
this
No.
is a hearing at 8 o'clock, so you, it's not a hearing, it's a meeting.
They asked for
Yeah,
continuance.
They asked for a
They
continuance.
requested a continuance because, again, this is the issue, it's preliminary plan.
Yeah.
They requested a continuance, even though it's not a hearing, because
Gotta
they're still
recuse
waiting for the attorney.
Chair, I have to recuse myself.
Oh, right, right.
Any indication when the Attorney General will be doing that?
I think mid-December,
Yeah.
so it's after our next meeting, I think.
Okay.
But it could come in before then.
Yeah, all right. All
Ernie,
right,
I
so if it
recuse
comes in
myself
for our
on
next
that
meeting, we'll act on it then. If it doesn't, we'll wait for the,
well.
we can't do anything until we get that
Not
decision
well.
from the Attorney General.
I recuse myself on that one.
Mike is recusing
On the 8
himself.
o'clock.
Oh, from the, yeah, well, I mean, it's just, it's
It's
just,
continuance anyway.
So,
it's not a public hearing, it's just,
All right. as long
need a
as-
motion to continue it?
if you wish to be recused, we'll let the record show that Mike recused himself from this discussion.
All right,
And we're done with it, so
didn't-
Mike, you're back.
I'm back.
Mike's back.
all right, so we can't do,
We didn't vote on continuing this thing.
no,
It's not a hearing,
No,
so,
we don't.
you know, they just want to indicate they want to continue talking about it. There is a timeline associated with it, we did get an extension.
Extension, yeah, okay. We don't need a vote on that, though. Continue it, no, no.
It'll be at the next meeting, just for reference.
Okay,
We'll say
12:10?
on 12th, December 10th at 7:45.
Okay.
It's all done.
all right.
So the accessory apartment, I'm looking at it. And
That's
there's
at
no-
8:15, so we
Yeah.
can't act on it until 8:15.
15.
Oh, for the accessory apartment?
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
it is a public hearing.
We
do
do some
number one?
business?
So you want
Bill?
some more agenda stuff, Bill?
Yeah,
Yeah, let me tell her.
Julie's online and Jay's online, so let's bang this out.
Which one are we doing?
Number one on additional business.
Get out of here by 8:30?
Okay. Douglas Renewables?
Yeah, she is.
Yes.
170 West Street, decommissioning surety, okay.
Hi, Julie.
Hey guys, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Good.
Happy Thanksgiving almost.
Yeah, yes.
Thank you. So we had a lot of back and forth over the last number of months, I guess, regarding the decommissioning surety form and agreement. And we agree on a dollar amount.
Okay.
There's some discussion about signatories on the actual document. So with that, I'll turn it over to Jay and Julie.
Okay. Who wants to go
I think
first?
the disconnect that we have right now, we worked out a good form of an agreement. One thing that was, the bond company was reluctant to sign our normal form. So the was perfectly happy signing it. It was pretty typical decommissioning security. The company didn't want to be part of that. There was question of an agreement that was really more originated from the bond company. I was okay with that, and we're named in that agreement, but there's no place for us to be a signatory to it. The only thing, and unless we're actually fully a party,
Which is this?
if the bond company refuses to turn over money for
Thank you. Yeah.
if the decommissioning doesn't happen, we would have no recourse. So we all have to be part of the same agreement. Otherwise, we have an agreement with the applicant, that's great. We can tell the applicant to do it. If the applicant has no money, we rely on the surety. If we were in agreement with the surety, then you get the money from them. Even if we're named in the agreement between the applicant and the surety, that's at best a kind of a third-party beneficiary, which isn't a very good position to be in. So literally, the only thing we would need is to take the agreement that right now names us already, but doesn't have a signature line for us. The rest of the language is fine, and I apologize to Julie and her team for not perhaps catching earlier on the fact that we didn't have a signature line there. We are named, we need to have a signature, so it's up to her team, which did a lot of work on getting the form done, to just get the sureties okay for us to put our name on that.
Okay.
Yeah, and the issue is just that, so we have an agreement with the town that we have to meet all the obligations to keep the surety and all the other things that are laid out in that agreement. I think it's really atypical for a third-party insurance company to be able to attest to all the project details and the obligations that we Nexamp have. I think you'd be really hard-pressed to find that. So that's why we've attached the form to the agreement, so that one, you can see our obligation is always going to be able to maintain the decommissioning fund, and then the bond lays out the amount and the terms. But I think, Jay, what you're trying to do is add the town signature to the bond form, and we'll just have to check with them, but that should be fine.
Yeah, and we don't even need the other form because we're all on the same agreement. And I know that these bond companies don't love being betrothed to a community, but if for some reason you guys just aren't meet your obligation, I can't compel them to pay it unless I'm part of that agreement. So that's what we need to shore up. Pretty straightforward. If this was a bank instead of a bond company, it'd be a no-brainer. They'd sign it every day. So that's all we need.
Understood. Okay, understood. Yeah, it's just they're not in this business of upholding and commissioning requirements, you know that. So let's talk offline more about it, but we're really close.
But aside from that, to the members of the board, the form of it is fine. So as soon as we work this out, I'm not sure if you even have to meet again. If they're willing to have it be 3 parties, then Bill can just let you guys know that and you can just sign it. Because otherwise, just to skip a step here, the form of it is good. They actually did a lot of work.
Jay, what I would recommend to the board is that they authorize the chairman to sign after you're satisfied.
Sure, perfect.
Agreed.
All right, anything else, Jay? Just this issue?
No, yeah, no, it's pretty classic decommissioning agreement, so
Okay.
appreciate it.
Okay, Julie, anything else?
No,
No?
I'm good. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Jay. Appreciate it.
Then you need a motion to allow the chair to sign the decommissioning surety once it's approved by Jay?
Yes.
That's a motion.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, any other further discussion? Motion made by Mike Z, seconded by Jake.
Les Stevens, aye.
All those in favor? Roll call vote. Do you have a comment?
No, Les Stevens, aye.
No, Les Stevens, aye, I'm sorry.
Jake Schultzberg, aye.
Mike Swicker, aye.
Aaron Sokrat, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Ernie Mac's aye. All right, anything else?
No, I think that's it, right, Julie?
Yeah, that it, Julie?
All right.
All right.
Great, thanks.
All right, thank you.
Have a good Thanksgiving.
Have a good one.
Yeah, happy
Thank you,
Thanksgiving.
Jay.
You too.
Yeah, thanks, Jay. Have a good Thanksgiving.
Hey, you too. Be safe, everybody.
Yeah, you too,
Thank
Jay.
you.
I think Tracy's gone.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Some people asked if she's coming
Oh,
back.
no, I think she packed up.
Yeah, she recused herself, and then she said she was leaving, so she signed.
Yep.
And so, yeah, let the record show that Tracy has left the meeting completely.
All right, I just asked if she was gone.
All right, still, what time is our next one?
Accessory.
8:15, which we're
Yep,
good.
we're good.
Okay, we're ready to go. All right. It's a public hearing for James and Patricia, how do you say the last name? Givner. Okay,
I reviewed it.
all right.
Mr. Chairman,
Public
I
hearing,
recuse myself.
Jake, Jake, you recusing yourself? All right, let the record show that Jake has recused himself from the public hearing. And public hearing for James and Patricia Givner, application for an accessory apartment special permit, 58 Southeast Main Street. Possible vote. All right, in accordance with the Town of Douglas Accessory Apartment Zoning Bylaw and the Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 40A, Douglas Planning Board is holding a public hearing on the application of James and Patricia Givner for an accessory apartment special permit. Property location is 58 Southeast Main Street, assessors map 214, parcel 19, Douglas, Mass. Public hearing is being held on Thursday, November 19th, 2020, at 8:15 PM in the Community Meeting Room, Municipal Center, 29 Depot Street, Douglas, Mass. Copy of the application may be viewed in the Community Development Department during regular business hours. Any person interested or wishing to be heard on the proposed plan should appear at the time and place designated. Ernest Marks, Chairman, Douglas Planning Board. Public hearing is now open. Do we
Mr.
have
Chairman,
somebody?
I have a couple of questions. Mr. Chairman, on this? A couple of questions? Are we able?
Okay, well, is there somebody to present the, present the application? Nobody here, Bill?
Well, the good nurse.
Okay. No, Aaron's good.
All right, do you have any comments, or do you want to present anything to us, or you just want us to go by the form that we have?
I guess you can.
By the application, okay, we'll go by the application, okay, that's fine.
I've never done this, so.
Doing great.
This is all new to us.
It's perfect.
All right,
Well, they paid their fees, that's good.
okay. Bill, any comments on it?
Who's, so is
Right.
the applicant,
Right, that's my question.
what's the relationship of the occupant, I guess?
Yeah, who's going to live there?
Yes, we own the main house and the in-law. We bought it as one unit. We occupy the in-law. My son and his family live in the main
It
house.
doesn't say that on anything here.
I put in a letter.
Yeah.
Application.
The letter's there.
It should be in your packet,
Yeah, it's right there.
and it explains the relationship.
Okay.
Right there. Yeah, letter.
Right, I just was going on the front of it where it says relationship to owner, and I see owner is living and owner's living the same thing. That's what I was going by, and I'm not trying to be stickler, I just wanted to ask the question.
Yeah.
So, but that needs to be filled into this bill, I would think, so it's on record.
Well, the decision, I mean, the letter, I guess, amends the application.
Right.
So the decision would provide that clarification on it.
Right, but it should still get put into this, it's put on the file without that, should it not be here also? Just a name?
Again, I think the letter remedies the application.
So this should say see letter attached?
I mean, we can write it in the file.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. Also, there's no floor plan
Yeah.
to judge whether square footages are reasonable or what's happening?
Aaron, it was pre-existing in-law.
Yeah, but there's still no
Prior to?
floor plan, there's these elevations in a very sumptuous section.
It was already,
It already existed.
it already existed. It was-
They
It
didn't
was
build it.
approved before.
We just bought the house.
They just
They
the
bought
house.
it, and it came with the in-law.
Right.
So they'll be
So
fine.
they're they're coming back and saying, yes, we'd
So
like to
you've seen
use.
the previous on this? You know?
I've driven by the property.
No, just don't get me wrong again.
I mean-
I'm coming from a different world, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So normally, there's all these elevations that are pencil drawn, which is
Yeah.
fine, you know? And then there's this sumptuous section, which I can't, it's so small scaled,
Yep.
but there's no floor plan,
But they're not building anything.
which would be, don't get me, hold on, right? Just get, you know, there's nothing here showing in this file, right? We don't have the previous here, which if it was done once, would be on record and should be attached to this.
Yeah.
maybe I shouldn't care. I'm just asking a question.
I take this very similar to the one that we did on Manchog Road that was already an existing in-law, when the person bought the in-law and they came back and they want to renew it, they weren't changing the in-law, or someone come back as a renewal.
Well, shouldn't it just be on record? What
I think
the
it's already
layout is?
on record when they built the,
Well, I don't disagree with what Aaron's saying.
No, I don't
Okay,
either.
This file should stand on its own merits.
yeah, I'm just,
It really needs to be complete. So if we typically and conventionally require a floor plan, and there's one in the other file,
Yeah.
I mean, it's really.
Attach it.
yeah. So,
Needs to be communicated, you know, if you want to get formal,
every renewal,
provide them a copy of that, they would provide us with that information as part of their packet.
Correct.
Right.
Okay.
We
It's a
should-
little round robin, and
Yeah.
not practical,
Yeah.
but
Right. We should treat it as a new,
Right,
application.
complete application, and a floor plan should be
Yeah.
in there, because,
right, if it exists.
Right.
Or if it needs to get drawn out.
Yes.
To scale, it takes somebody
Yes.
an hour to do it.
Right, right.
Put it in this application. The letter's great. Either say, see attached,
Yeah, I agree.
or put the name here. That's it.
Yeah.
Done.
Okay.
yeah.
Is that
I
okay?
mean, this is what we received from the town when we were informed that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We did the application fee and all that.
Yeah,
that's
okay,
all.
Except they're on file. So
yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah.
We will,
we were told part of the deal that we have to renew it every 3 years.
correct.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. But,
We were just following through. That's
yeah,
all.
no, that's fine. You have to renew it every 3 years, yes.
Yeah, I
but-
mean, it's less than 600 square feet. I mean, it's not even, that's not a big deal. What I would recommend is that, we don't care about this. This little floor plan should be reduced and
just
just,
like these other pages on the.
and just add it. Just that thing, added, and the name of your son or whoever it is, put on the other page. I know it's on the letter, but it should be.
On the application.
It should be on the application.
That's all. We're all good to support. It just,
Yeah.
give us
No,
the
we
paperwork.
understand, but
Yeah,
we're just
yeah.
filling out the application as it exists.
It's more to establish the file, so if you move and we have someone else that wants to come in, you know, we have something to work off of, and we're not all.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's
I
not,
understand that, and I used actually the previous owner's application as a guide.
Excellent, yep.
Right, but you're the people now, and
Yeah.
we want you to be the rightful owners of this accessory apartment, and
Yeah.
if you can take this, just copy it, put it in, have 11, slide it in here, and then sign the thing.
I thought that was part of the packet. I had included it, I thought I did.
That's it right there.
It's an oversight.
Okay.
Okay.
yeah, it's nothing that's going to hold you
So,
up. We just need to have a
Does
complete
anyone
file.
want to see this, or?
No.
Is that the floor plan?
It's perfect.
Okay.
It's perfect, all right?
Okay,
I have notes on it.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's exactly
fine.
it.
You're all set with that.
Is it okay if
We're
I keep
okay
this?
with it.
And I can give you this back, because this is not important to us right now.
okay, so we have the floor plan in there now?
Yes.
Okay, all
But
right.
something here should say, see letter attached.
I'll
and-
make sure that it gets corrected in the.
Perfect, that's it.
file.
Okay.
Okay, yeah,
This is my job.
Yeah.
So,
In the
So-
future, though,
I
should we
a couple
have it?
comments.
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead, Bill.
We do, and I'm not sure when the original applicant came forward, but sometime more recently, the board started adding a few conditions in the permit. And so these questions are related to that. One of the conditions is that there's one meter servicing the house. Is that currently the case? So there's 2 meters. And I forget what the other condition is. It has to do.
Oh, to tie into the septic center like that, that they're feeding into one common,
right, not separate utilities.
not separate utilities, including the
So
wastewater.
there's 2 meters now, so somebody put another meter on this, is that what?
No, before, it
No,
wasn't a
this is
condition.
before we started
So it's
making a
grandfathered.
condition that they
Right.
have 1 meter.
Oh, we're not saying this one has 2, we're just saying,
They're saying this one has.
This has
So-
2 meters.
do they need to remove one of the meters?
Well, that's why I'm bringing it up.
If that's the condition of this, then this is a new
It's
application.
not, let's step back. Before, they had 2 meters, it could be done. Now we say it can only be done with 1.
Right.
So this is pre-existing.
All right,
So
if
I'm
that's-
not going to make them remove a
That's
meter.
fine, if that's
No,
the
I'm
measure.
not gonna
I'm
do
fine with it, too.
I'm fine with it.
It's 35 degrees out.
If it was a new one being built, I would say
Yes.
1 meter. It's
When we have something new
pre-existing, so
going up and being
I have no
built,
problem
that's a
with it.
condition that we have.
Yeah.
This here, I'm not,
Yeah.
No,
So
I'm
when
not
we have a
either.
this is
renewal,
fine.
No, that's fine.
when we have a renewal,
Yeah.
do we ask the applicant, is it in there clearly, do not add another meter?
It's in the original
It's in the
decision.
per- It's now in the permit.
Now it's in the
So like,
permit.
I'll make a point that we're not using our standard template for them because
It's pre-existing.
It's grandfather, the meter thing is fine.
So, to the chair.
Yep.
To Aaron's point, even with renewals, do we want to make sure that they're going to provide, as part of the renewal application, the floor plan
Oh, yeah,
in there, in a renewal as well?
I think they should.
Okay.
So they.
I'm just asking.
When they renew it,
Information.
Whoever renews it,
Someone
again.
comes forward.
we have a copy of the floor plan that's going to be included in the.
He's saying in the future, on other ones, should it be somewhere written that they should, even if this is just a renewal, should they go to the archives or add just a plan, so it becomes
All
up to date
together.
and it's in the file?
Ernie,
Like we
what I'm
did
saying,
here.
so it's always together with the
Yeah.
latest revision.
It stands on its own, like you said.
Yeah, you should, when the renewal comes in, it's a renewal application, so.
renewal, I mean, I look at a renewal, they check off that nothing's changed, so.
Right.
I mean,
And we'll go by the
This
original.
is a new application.
Okay.
If it's I would say if it's a, I don't know if I'm allowed to speak on this.
course.
because it has
You can
nothing to do with
speak.
this, but
Anything.
If it's a renewal application, same owner, they're coming in every 3 years.
What about it's a
I
different owner?
wouldn't.
Nothing's
yeah, if
changed.
it's a different owner.
And they're
that's-
doing what they're doing.
Just like they do, and then it should stand on
There's a
their.
spot on there to check if it has anything
Existing-
changed.
Right,
Existing owner,
right.
existing same file, nothing's changed. I
Just,
wouldn't-
so we should.
Nothing's
require-
changed, you don't check the
Yeah.
box.
I don't think they would, should bring more.
No,
than
I
that.
don't, yeah, I don't.
Just asking for clarification.
We'll go, if it's a completed application now with the floor plan,
Yeah.
we can go with the usual renewal that we normally do for a renewal.
Right,
That's my feeling.
and we have, and that's not been an issue.
Yeah.
New owner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Any-
Is this for 1 year or 3?
Three.
huh,
Three.
so,
Yeah.
Bill, question to the
Go
chair.
ahead, yep.
So it says in here waivers. Item I,
Where?
item 7, number 7, waivers.
Yeah,
So
that wouldn't be a waiver.
what are you talking about?
The service connections
It
and
wouldn't be a waiver? Okay.
that's not a condition in the bylaw. That's something we issue as a condition in the decision.
Okay. So you wouldn't want to have that,
It's not a
you
waiver.
wouldn't have a waiver, okay. You know where I was going with it, to cover us in the future of saying, because there is 2 services there, you'd put a waiver saying,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
waiver the fact that we usually require you 1 service, and in this situation, there's 2 services. Ask for a waiver to, quote, still remain grandfathered.
Well, it kind of is covered. It says it otherwise would be classified as one family, so one family doesn't have 2 meters.
Sure could.
Well, I guess you could have a garage and have an eager
Plenty of people
beaver.
have 2 meters. Sure, garage could have a meter, your basement could have a meter.
Well, if
You
you're
build a
leasing,
house, however you want to split it up, you split it
well,
up.
if you're
the way you
leasing
want.
out your garage and such like that.
No.
No?
It's up to National Grid. They
It's
will
their call.
allow you
Okay.
the number of meetings. you
All
can
right, so
have.
there's no waiver needed for that, then we'll just go forward with it.
And it's okay to put 3
I
or
think I'm
4.
good with
It'll
it,
be fine.
application.
Yeah. All right.
So how about a motion to
How?
approve minus our 2 standard conditions that we recently added? I don't want to get specific about it because I want to confirm.
Right. Yep.
Make a motion to, what do we have to accept it?
Authorize Ernie to sign, but approve the application for the
Okay.
accessory
Apartment,
apartment.
Yep.
And issue a decision minus the 2 most. recent.
where it's been a pre-existing
Yep.
accessory apartment. And Ernie can sign for it, for 58 Southeast Main Street.
Do we acknowledge that it's a new owner in that wording?
Nope.
Doesn't
No, we're good.
matter.
Is that a motion?
Awesome. Yep.
Yep.
Second?
Okay.
Motion made by Mike C., seconded by Mike.
Yep.
The other Mike.
Yep.
All right, any further discussion?
Mike.
Good.
All those in favor?
Les Stevens, aye.
Mike Zwicker, aye.
Aaron Sokrat, aye.
Cool.
Mike?
Mike Greco, aye.
Yeah.
Ernie Mac's aye.
There you go.
All right.
You're all set.
You're all set.
Ernie, so that authorizes you to sign, so
Yep.
when we get the decision, we'll have Ernie sign it, we'll be in touch with you.
Okay. All right.
All right,
Yep,
guys.
thanks.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thanksgiving.
Good holiday.
Yeah, good luck with everything.
Mr. Chairman, I am back.
Let the record show that Jake is back. All right.
Where are we on this?
Item 3, additional business.
Yep. We've done 1, we've done 2. And we did 4? Oh, no,
What's release
5.
of
We did
surety?
5.
Number
Okay, so
3.
we're on number 3?
Yeah, number 3.
Guaranteed Builders and Developers, 37 Glen Street.
I'm scared of that property. See how many keep out signs there are on it? Beware of dog, beware of
This is why- This is why you should be scared of it.
The rooster?
The rooster.
the rooster. I got 4 of them.
Yeah, watch out for someone.
Took a ride out there with
Someone
the
took a
owner
beating?
And,
No, they're mean.
And the owner's satisfied with it. Actually, they're probably gonna improve some things on their own, but nothing that affected
Yeah, it
the
looks good.
restoration.
Okay.
You know, so I took these photos.
Mighty fine hill.
You know, there was a little bit of rough area here. This is facing the solar panels on Hughes.
Oh.
But I think it's always been that way, to be quite
And
honest.
the drought has been
Yeah.
just terrible.
I'm surprised they got grass.
Yeah.
The rest of it looks great.
All
So
right, cool.
Pine did a great job. Pine's been very good to work with on this, and the owner has been very good.
Good.
So
Okay.
I would recommend that you authorize, and you have a document in there, Ernie, to
Release.
sign, the release of the surety
Do it.
for ER 180312. This is the cash surety that Pine posted.
Do we know how much the surety is
I was
for?
gonna say, any dollar amount or not?
I
No.
don't have a dollar amount.
Is it for the release of all of it?
It's for the amount that Pine posted.
For that pine?
Yep.
So the total cash
Okay.
surety associated with
Okay.
ER-180312.
Okay.
And GBI did not have to sign because they built the house.
So we need,
Pine posted it, we got an extension, we took it into Pine.
Right, so this should say pines, sand, and
It should
stone,
say
not
that.
guaranteed,
It should
not
say.
not guaranteed builders and
so you
developers.
need a motion for the release
Yep.
of the cash surety that Pine has posted for the 37 Glen Street, ER 180312, for the release of the cash surety that Pine posted
Is that a-
only.
Is that a, you're saying it?
You want
second
to
it.
authorize me to sign that, or is it?
And Ernie,
Yeah.
we all gonna
You
sign?
can sign it.
Yeah, just-
Yeah.
yeah.
And
chairman.
we'll-
But I'll
and
second it.
Authorize Ernie,
The chairman is
our
signed.
chair to sign.
Okay, motion made by
We have
Mike
the
Z,
board.
Yep.
Second?
seconded by Aaron.
I don't care.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Les Stevens, aye.
Jake Schultzberg, aye.
Mike Zwicker, aye.
Aaron Sokrat, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Ernie Mac's aye. All right, that takes
Okay.
care of number 3. Number 4.
Number 4's done.
Number 4.
Oh, the pond? Oh,
ASD Wallen Lake Solar, they've, I don't know if you've been down that way, but they've been clearing trees.
Oh, have they?
So I did speak with Evan and told him, hey, you gotta get those stormwater ponds constructed because, you know,
You're clearing.
you're clearing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that pond should be in place by now.
Right.
So I did speak to him about that. But we came to a resolution between town council, them, and the dollar amount with us and Pear Corp. For the decommissioning bond. So
Okay.
in there, in the packet to be signed is the decommissioning surety for ASD.
Okay.
I would suggest that the board authorize Ernie to sign, because I think there's only one signature line on it.
Okay.
And then we can move forward with that. They did deposit the check, the first check.
Very
with us
good. Okay.
today.
all right.
Is there any reason they've sort of hurried on the tree removal? Is it just forestation for
They've been
sale?
anxious to get going for a while. It's been like,
But they're not doing their other part, which is the retention ponds.
Well, no, you gotta remove the trees before you get the
that's a
retention
project
ponds.
management issue with the construction company. It's not
Yeah.
so much the applicant.
Right.
So I did point it out to him. He said he's going to take care of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The other thing I wanted to mention was, there was a condition in the approval, you might remember, maybe you don't. They had these 2 berms coming down halfway down the side slope.
Yeah, yeah.
And they didn't have any erosion protection, so we put a condition in the decision
Right.
that they're either to remove the berms or put a better erosion protection. They removed the berms, so in doing that, they had to redesign the ponds. I'm still working on that.
Okay.
So is that gonna be that'd be a change from their as-built when they submit it?
Modification or?
I don't think it
No, it's
warrants a modification, it's really a
Probably field.
sizing issue, kind of.
Field?
We
Something.
did issue a condition that they do this.
Yeah,
you know,
okay.
So
Yep.
it's complying with the decision.
All right.
Okay, anybody else?
No, good.
So you need a motion for Ernie Marks, the chair, to sign
approve the surety form
Yeah.
and authorize me to sign.
To sign and approve the surety form for
ASD Wallen.
ASD Wallen Lake Solar.
Motion made by Mike Z,
Second, you?
second by Jake. Okay, any further discussion? Nope. All those in favor?
Les Stevens, aye.
Jake Schultz, aye.
Mike Zwicker, aye.
Aaron Sokrat, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Ernie Mac's aye.
Bill, the decommissioning monies that it's collected, where does the town put those in a decommissioning account?
We establish, if it's cash, we establish a separate account that's maintained through the treasurer's office. We give her a copy of the surety agreement.
Yep.
And if it's a bond, we give her the original bond.
Okay.
She houses that. And we, to be honest with you, there really wasn't a great system in place for that. We've been
No,
working
it's
on
net new.
improving it.
It's net new. No, that's what I was asking.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And for so many decommissioning projects we're gonna have, it's like, you know, putting them in the file cabinet with so many we've got coming in.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
ended
And
up
there's some-
having a paper trail when we transfer from our office to her office.
Yep.
We have a spreadsheet where we track each one, so.
Because these are
They didn't used to
long-term.
do that, and sometimes it used to get a little confusing because sometimes things would be called the project name, they'd be called sometimes the company name,
Yeah,
that has
yeah.
multiple
Yep.
projects, so
Yeah.
you don't know which one it's associated with. So, you know, those things
Yeah.
we're working on improvement.
For our next meeting, can you still have the list of the sureties that we hold for some of the projects?
Yep,
Can you just provide a list of that?
sure,
Just so we can keep an eye on that and
sure,
curious what we're
yep.
dealing with.
Yeah.
So,
Okay,
yep, thank you.
all right. Next item, residential compound regulations.
I think we can wait till the next meeting.
yeah.
I looked at it and then made some notes. I haven't had a chance to send it to Bill.
All right.
Nothing crazy. I think mostly some of the stuff I think we've talked about as a board. The only thing I saw in there that didn't add any value was they were talking about buffer and open space. Or you kind of use one or the other. You don't have both. So, well, again, we'll discuss it at a board meeting.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I just don't.
If anybody has feedback or comments on it, you know, I would be happy to collect it.
Yeah, so I haven't had a
distribute it
chance
for
to
the
send it
next
yet.
meeting.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to send it to you. I got notes on a scribble thing, but it was just, I know we did a buffer and open space for the flexible development,
Yes.
where this is not really a flex, this is more a residential compound. So I don't know if we would need that, again,
It's just-
for a board discussion.
It's as close to flex as you're going to get with anything else
Well,
to do, though, but yeah.
This
it's right.
is very
They're
similar
different.
to
They're
a
different.
private.
Yeah,
It's
they're
considered
different. Yeah, well,
It is
yeah,
a
well,
private.
private, so, yeah.
Yep.
So I would even consider it similar to flex. I know Bill and I were talking about trying to, adapting it if we could do a flex with a residential compound that's over so many lots. And maybe that's for a further discussion.
And I think, you know, there's some room for improvement. I'm pointing out, you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
this does not relieve them from other parts of the definitive subdivision regs, because it still is a definitive subdivision.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
for example, grade.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, nowhere does it talk about grade in that section.
Yeah.
But in the definitive plan, it talks about 10% being a max grade. So,
Correct.
Yep.
You know, there's still, the burden is
Oh, yeah.
on them to still comply with that. And I don't think
Definitely.
it's clear that that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we might have to add in stuff
Yeah,
like that.
okay.
And
No, that's great.
And I think
Good pickup.
if we want to do something, if someone comes in with more than 5 lots, then we say, okay, instead of having 1.5 times what you need, if you shrunk it down, again, from the infrastructure aspect.
Yeah.
But I don't think I haven't put the calculations on that yet.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we'll just put it on another agenda.
Yep.
Deal.
All right. Meeting minutes.
Mikey.
Mike?
Mike?
There's 2 of them listed here, October 15th and October 28th.
Correct.
Yes.
I think we just got them tonight, the first time I've seen them.
All right, we'll do next meeting then.
I did read over the 28th. I skipped the 15th, but I did look at the 28th, and that looked fine.
Yeah, I think the last meeting we had the 28th on here, and
Yeah, we did.
it was passed over because I forget why.
Yeah, I forgot why too, but we did.
It should be in the
pass
other
it.
meeting minutes
Yeah.
that we passed over.
Oh, if somebody is kind of approving the
We're looking-
28th,
No, we're looking for you to.
make a motion. No,
I hate to-
I'm willing to take your word. I don't know, everybody else should be.
Well, we can do them both at the next meeting. It's because the 15th is,
Yeah, just wait it out.
yeah.
All right, all right. Put 'em up.
Mike's thing.
Any
I
other?
think Maria included a copy of the meeting schedule for next year, but it wasn't
Yes,
on our
it's in
agenda,
here.
so
Yep.
We can take that up at the next meeting.
All right, and what's this, just something for us to look at from Pine on Sleepy Hollow?
Oh, yeah, that came in.
That, Ernie, is for you. Actually, I think
in
I
all our
have stuff for
packets.
the whole board.
Yeah.
We agree on the, there's a lot release form in there. We already voted to release these lots, actually a fraction of these.
Fraction of them, yeah, not all of
They
them.
did post the surety, we came to an agreement on the surety.
Okay,
With, there were a few things going on. We've only gotten this form recently, so.
okay.
So I would suggest that you take a look at it. If you agree, vote to release it. And so this is for virtually all the lots.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a bond surety?
This is they posted cash.
Cash,
It says bond in the thing, surety.
Yeah,
Bond.
it's a bond, cash bond.
Okay.
cash
All right.
bond, yeah.
Yeah. Surety
I know.
is an umbrella term for whatever.
three different types that we
Cash, it
use.
could be cash.
Yep.
Okay, all right.
So we're releasing all these? Or didn't vote to release all these?
Yeah, they posted
Okay.
surety. I tried
Well, they
to
did,
get Andy-
okay.
I reached out to Andy later today, and we got that, I
Yep.
think this morning, maybe yesterday, this morning,
I don't know, it's all of them.
What's that, like?
which is why it's not on the agenda.
Yeah.
Do we got this?
I think we did 6, we allowed,
Originally, he only had 5 or 6
yeah,
lots,
yeah, at least.
and that was kind of like to work with him. You came to an agreement, got the as-built plan, those were things we were waiting for.
Yep.
Yeah,
So I'm good with releasing all the lots because everything looks great.
Yep.
Okay?
okay.
And he has, the cash has been
Skipped
paid
a
up?
couple of lots, I think, inadvertently. Okay, so I guess we could do it 2 ways. We can sign the document that's before us, and they can come back for those few lots that they haven't requested. Or you could vote to release all the lots, authorize Ernie to sign, and then I can have them revise the paperwork.
I mean, they know what they're handing in. I mean, if this is what they want, I think we can all sign it and give them what they want.
Work on that.
If they want to come in with the others at some
Later.
point, I mean, they decided to admit it, they know what they have.
Yeah,
Okay.
Then we'll leave it that way.
I didn't hear back from them. I let them know there was a problem, and I didn't hear back.
So well, let's just
So-
approve that, like, these.
So we can approve whatever, so we can sign this tonight then,
Sure.
because we've already approved
Yeah,
it.
town council reviewed it. It's
Yeah.
for form.
Yeah.
Instead of going through all that,
Yep.
we have it, sign it, we're done with it.
okay.
Then if he wants the rest, it's copy and paste pretty much, and
Right.
just
All right.
change the lot numbers.
All right, so you got your future item agendas on here.
Yeah.
And what were you saying about the schedule, Bill? We
Yeah, I
got to
see
vote
it,
on
yeah.
that, right?
We need, a
It's not here yet.
2021 schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it
Calendar.
wasn't-
we need a motion?
Not on the
It's
agenda.
not on the
meeting.
agenda, so I'd say let's just wait.
Wait until the next meeting. Yeah, put it on the agenda. Yeah,
Yep.
okay. Yep. Because we couldn't do that until after town meeting anyway, so.
Right.
Right. All right,
And so, just so you know.
Yep.
These new dates should reflect our regular Tuesday schedule.
I see that.
So they could be subject to change.
I see one that's,
COVID gets bad, yes.
Yep, okay.
Which is,
Very good.
it is
Okay.
right now, Douglas.
everybody look them over, and if you have any
Something
comments,
happened?
do it at the
Last
next
couple
meeting. All right, anything that
Fear factor.
wasn't anticipated for discussion?
Cosmo's starting to do his construction of his residential compound. I've gone out there, we took some soil samples.
Which one is that, Bill?
That's on Maple Street, going towards Uxbridge. The front part just missed the spec. I don't think I'm having a problem with that. I did ask his engineer to give me a letter certifying that it's suitable. It didn't meet spec.
Okay.
For drainage?
Stuff in back is way off spec, so
Oh, really?
that's not good.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
so, looking for his engineer, I've contacted his engineer 2 times to try and get something, because I don't want to hold the guy up.
Yeah, right, okay.
Okay.
All right,
On the accessory apartment, do we have it where you brought up on the floor plan, and I know it's tough because of COVID, but is it on the form where a floor plan is required? Or is it, no? Should we have that? to make this process a lot easier.
We could add it, and we could, make edits to the bylaw and go to town meeting.
I think we should.
If you're gonna start editing it, I would recommend, let's take a look at the whole thing instead of just.
Well,
I wouldn't mind taking a look back and getting into the in-law apartments, because I know like the 3 years, having people come in every 3 years, that's asking a lot. If
only when it sells, then they would
You know.
come, or if for 5 years.
Well, that's,
then-
no, we haven't addressed how
The
it
reason it's
sells.
3 years, Jake, is because the statute 48 only allows special permits for 3 years.
Yeah. That covers all the 48.
And it's not a big dollar deal. It's just, they just submit the form and pass it
Yeah.
in. But I think, looking at it, I think we should, like you say, when was the last time we looked at it when it was first written?
Yeah.
And now that we've been in the process a little bit,
Get rid of the whole thing.
No.
but now we know kind of the ins and outs of what we're looking for.
Yeah.
To streamline it and make it simple where, when it comes in, to eliminate any problems, it's cookie cutter. This is what you're gonna have, A, B, C.
Yeah.
It's done, it's over. If you do A, B, C, we're gonna look at it and approve it.
Just a checklist.
And that's all it is. So that, applicant A is doing the same as applicant D. Right now, it's hodgepodge. Again, all different kind of
Yeah.
stick drawings, architect drawing.
Yeah.
Some are true layouts, and some is just a
Yeah.
piece of lined paper.
Right.
We don't need an engineer to draw it out, but to give a general idea what we're looking
It
at.
has to be attested that this is
Yeah, I don't
a, significant representation of the plan and not, it doesn't have to be, they don't have to hire an architect. or
No,
something
no,
like that.
no, we don't
But
want
somebody
a
needs to say, with pains of this, I
Yeah.
did this, and I clearly.
Right.
Can I ask a question? Could it be added, like what Mike's saying? So there's two things here. It says, the design of the accessory apartment is such that the appearance remains that of one-family residence. Without some sort of representation, you can't even assess the appearance without some drawings as such. Now, I know a floor plan doesn't assess an appearance, but
Right.
where it says the accessory shall be clearly secondary in nature and not exceeding 900 square feet in area, it should say, right there, include floor plan layout. So that you could say, if this thing's 40 by 30, it's not 600 or 800 square feet.
So what I would suggest, much like the common driveway, is people take that bylaw, I can email you just that section if you prefer, and then mark it up, and then we can have a good conversation.
So, but we can't take like number 7 and just add that piece.
That's a
I
buy.
would say, look at the whole thing, because once you piecemeal it,
Right. You can't,
if we're gonna open that can of worms, let's,
Take line 1 and go through it.
All right, I'll be on that.
Well, I think-
whatever, whoever
Because it might
wants
be
to do it.
Aaron, it can't be changed unless it's at town meeting. You
Yeah.
can't, it's a bylaw, so you can't add something
You
to it.
can't change any words.
But-
and it's a 2/3 vote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So because it's laborious, I would say, look at the whole thing.
Yeah, right. If we're gonna make changes,
Even
if we're gonna make changes, look at,
Wording on the form.
let's have a, full discussion on it.
The bylaw has nothing to do with the application form?
So what he's asking is can we
Well,
change the application form?
Yes,
So that's what he was pointing to.
Yeah.
Oh, what's
That's it.
included?
I'm sorry.
Application form.
Just include
But that's
this.
quoting the bylaw.
Right, you can't.
Right.
Well, it says,
You're adding something to a bylaw. You
Yeah, it does
can't-
say
you
pursuant
can't-
to the
you can't-
bylaw.
You can't just do it.
That's
You gotta-
fine.
You gotta,
I'll bring what they use in Natick. It's pretty, I don't want to get overly detailed, and I
Right,
agree,
no.
Mike, this is a different town.
No, we're not getting.
But it gives you some baseline of some,
It ain't gonna
right?
happen.
Yep.
Yeah, going that far.
the-
I know what you
Well,
mean.
but listen, right?
Yeah.
We're either doing this or we're not doing this.
No, I think we can review it.
Consideration, we have just floor plans that come in with excessively wide hallways and, so they're not counting the square footage of that as part of, we have a threshold on square footage.
Correct.
So
The
some of
total
these
square footage.
Questionable areas,
Right.
that's why the value of a floor plan comes in.
I mean,
See that stuff.
there are other bylaws that have things like, we recommend, or there's some suggestion at the end that you make hallways large enough for wheelchairs and doorways, because often the accessories are for parents, and they don't have a second floor and such like that.
It's not us to dictate on hall width and all that. If it's 30 by 30, that's all they care about. How they lay it out inside with one room or 4 rooms
Oh, yeah.
is their business.
but what about-
But having a journal layout.
So
is all that matters.
I think
You're
we
starting
could-
to thread here.
I think we could take a peek at the current bylaw of it. Bill could send it to us in email. We can take a peek at it if we have to add something.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest issue that we've come across with this is people who bought a new house with the in-law
Correct.
and then turn around and didn't know the rules.
And they rent it out for market value is one of the things.
Well,
which is not-
I don't even think we hit that case
Well, it
yet.
says, well, we don't know we hit the,
No. Meaning,
no one follows up.
I'm just thinking that the two that we ran across was the Manchog one where the lady bought and had the in-law and then didn't realize she was supposed to take it out without the permit.
Right.
So I
Do
think,
they file a deed restriction? Do they file this with the registry of deeds?
Yes, the original.
The original one who concepted it in the beginning files it.
First permit, not the renewals.
yeah.
Right, and every neighbor can find out that if they got 9 guys living in 900 square feet, that that's probably not the right thing.
But to Bill's point, what got filed with the registry of deeds is probably where it should, and I haven't looked at what's in there, but should have some language saying, shall property be sold,
It's in there.
Okay, again, I haven't looked, that's, I'm just,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
And it should be.
So
Yeah.
that's why, so at that point, then new buyer, should be surprised at this because they've hired a lawyer.
Right.
To do their closing, to do their title research.
And there's deed
And they should
There's a lot of lawyers that ain't gonna tell you everything that's in
Yeah.
there. And you know it as well as I know it. Come on, let's get real.
No, but they do,
They don't do it all. I'll tell you what. Some do, and some just take your money and say, see ya. So
Where
I'll
does
tell
that-
you what.
Mike, where does that leave the town, though?
All
I'm
right.
just telling
All right,
you
fair
the
enough.
reality.
Make a motion.
Wait. Isn't there some sort of distance thing related to these accessory?
Oh, how far away?
Yeah,
Less than
50
50 feet.
You have to be within 50 feet.
Yes.
Yeah, remember the one came, was 150 feet away, and they wanted separate this?
It's in another town.
Right, just over the town line.
We're good? All right, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion made by Les, seconded by Mike Z. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Bill Stevens, aye.
Jake Schultzberg, aye.
Mike Zwicker, aye.
Aaron Sokrat, aye.
Ernie
We
Mac's
sign.
aye. Don't walk away,
We have
because
stuff to sign.
For the
What?
time.